I'm back. I'm back, people. This is a Saturday evening, and which is a hot evening at that, in the great city of Houston, Texas. Man, we're back. We're back. We're back to talk about a little bit of football, man. You know, we just want to speak on some things recruiting wise, and a little bit after this, I'll get to talk about the Miami, sides of things a little bit, and I want to talk a little bit about that interview that Shamar Stewart had with Crib Talk. It was a really good interview. It wasn't any shots taken at nobody. I respect the guy that does that whole YouTube channel, man. Really good interview. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I like at least the first 15 minutes of it. Just a couple of things about Shamar just keeping it real, saying why he really picked Texas A&M and stuff like that. And a lot of you guys, when you watch this YouTube video, and if you're a fan of another team, I already know what exactly you're going to say. Oh man, come on, man, let's keep it real, man. He chose A&M because of the NIL deal and all that. Okay, whatever. That's all I'm gonna say to you. But he said something really interesting, man, and we're gonna get into recruit. He said something really interesting. He brought up Dallas Turner, also leaving Miami in the 2020 class, in which he said something to Shamar. He was like, I do understand, why you may have not picked Miami. You know what I mean? But he also went into detail about the Turner kid over there at Alabama. He went over there to Alabama over there. And Dallas Turner that went to Alabama, he's from IMG, and Dallas Turner is every bit of from Florida. And we asked Dallas Turner the same thing. He say, man, when you go over there, you're walking into a situation where you're not just going to start right away. And he told Shamar Stewart the same thing. He said, you're walking over there into a situation of, you may not get on the field right away, man. You may not get on the field just right then and there. And Shamar looked at him and he said, you know what? I expect to go over there and put in the work. I don't expect to just walk right into the situation and get right on the field, man. So, like I say, man, a lot of you guys go and watch that. Go and watch that YouTube. Help him out with his channel, stuff like that, man. He has a whole lot of subscribers. Go over there and subscribe to it again. Like I say, it was a YouTube, something that I did like, and something that I'm telling you guys go out and look at, man, because it was really, really good. And Shamar Turner just basically kind of kept it real. I said Shamar Turner. Yeah, it is his name. No, Shamar Stewart. I'm sorry. I noticed with Shamar Stewart, he doesn't talk like that. That's the guy that does not talk like that, man. I'm sorry. He's going to say a little bit of words, a little sentence come out, and that's about it, and he's going to move around. All right, so I like that. I like it. He looks and he sounds like he's all about his work. That's it. That's all he want to do is just play football. All right, so once again, I'm going to get into that at the end of the show. So you guys should stick around for that. All right, so some recruiting news and updates, man, for Texas A&M football. We're not going to talk about baseball today because I want to come out and I want to talk about that on tomorrow, in which I know it's probably going to be that'll probably be a show with some of the most views, because I'm talking about Texas. It's a lot of people that has been waiting for me to make a podcast about Texas A&M versus Texas, and I thank you all for that. But I'm not going to talk about that today. Excuse me. I'm going to talk about that on tomorrow morning. Okay, so you guys just stick around for that, man, and that show is going to be wild. All right, it's going to be really, really crazy, hands down. Can't wait to do it. You guys already know how I feel about Texas. Don't like them at all. Like I say, once again, they don't like us. It is what it is. But we are going to get into detail about that baseball game on tomorrow, because one of those Texas teams is going to be going home. Crazy as hell that's a true rivalry game that's taking place on one of the biggest stages ever. So nobody has a distinct advantage. There ain't no home field, nothing. That game is going to be wild. The most watched College World Series game ever, with two opponents playing an elimination game. So be looking for that one, man. All right. So anywho, let's go ahead and get on right into it. So let's talk about some things here, man. First and foremost, where is Texas A&M in the 2023 rankings right now? This is where they're at. All right, and I believe we have now fallen from out of the top 25, if I'm not mistaken. So this is where we're at. Texas A&M right now sits at, I thought they was going to pull it up. Let me go to it. Let me look at these commitments here. As of right now, we sit at number 41 in the 2023 football rankings. It's still early. The season hasn't even started yet. A lot of these kids are just, taking their summer visits and stuff like that. Like I told you guys once before, and like Brian and what's the other guy's name for Texas, I believe, or for Gig'em 247, man. A lot of those guys have described to you that we aren't really big on the trail just yet. Also, a lot of those guys have told you that Texas A&M now has the upper hand with recruiting, man. A&M can go out and handpick kids just like Alabama and Georgia can, and Ohio State and Clemson and all the other guys, and LSU and stuff like that now. They've now reached that level. That's insane to think about when you got Texas A&M to have one national title. Yes, I know. But they can literally go out and handpick guys however they want to now. All right, I cannot tell you that I haven't seen this many guys saying, "Oh man, I'm excited to get a scholarship from A&M." An offer letter from A&M, man. Man, I'm very excited about that offer letter. It's crazy. Only schools I used to see that do that a lot, and I've looked at this for 10 plus years now. Alabama and Georgia, Ohio State as well, and LSU. Those were the only teams that I seen on the kids' commitment list, and they're really saying that, "Oh man, I'm excited. I'm excited." So, like I told you guys once before, man, it's a whole lot of things that have changed in College Station now. Recruiting in particular. Jimbo Fisher doesn't recruit your top 25 classes anymore. He recruits top 10 or better. Top 10 or better. Top 10 or top 5 now for him. That is it. We will not go under. I'm going to tell you like this. He recruits top 5 now. We will not go into 5 anymore. He told you guys this a long time ago when he took the job, the first year of his interview. He said Texas A&M will indeed get a number 1 and number 2 class. I will get them a number 1 and number 2 recruiting class. He said that. The reason why people don't like Jimbo Fisher is because Jimbo Fisher is making do of every word that he said. The only thing that hasn't come yet, in which he's telling you guys, just be patient, is a conference title in a let me start first. A division title and a conference title, and then the national championship. Those are the only things that has not come yet, man. I believe that he has a Heisman Trophy winner in his back pocket somewhere. We just don't know when that's going to happen. I believe that he will have one of the best defensive players in his back pocket somewhere. We just don't know when that's going to emerge. And I mean, man, it's a whole lot of things that's taking place right now, and it's all because of recruiting. It's recruiting. So, like I say right now, nationally, they sit at number 41. The prospects, once again, I'm going to go over the prospects again. I'm not going to break down every prospect here, but I'm going to break down the targets that's sitting really, really heavily on their recruiting board. Number 1 is David Hicks. All right, and this is a defensive lineman. That's crazy, right? We just signed, I don't know how many defensive linemen last year. So what? As long as the teams in the West keep on loading up on running backs. Alabama by far has one of the best running back rooms in the nation. So if we're going to go up against that monster every year, then why not go out and get some of the best defensive linemen to stop the dudes? That's all I'm saying, man. So, but not only Alabama, you got to worry about LSU, Arkansas with their running scheme now. Mississippi State shock you, a couple of times or two. You know what I mean? Ole Miss with their hurry up offense. So it's a whole lot of things you got to think about here, man. And that's the reason why they want to load up on all the defensive linemen. If you're going to take each and every skill player, well then A&M wants every single aggressive defensive line player. If they can go and get them all, in 2023 they will. I'm sorry, I'm telling you guys what I know. Now, are we going to get that many defensive linemen like we got last year? No. I will say that. I will honestly keep it real with you guys on that. No. But David Hicks is their #1 target right now, so far as the defense is concerned. Number 2 at the skill position, wide receiver in particular, Zakaria Branch. Zakaria Branch is committed to USC at the moment. And he's a hard commit. Of course, he isn't on pen and paper. But who's to say that Texas A&M won't flip Zakaria Branch from Las Vegas, Nevada? If we get him and David Hicks, Texas A&M will indeed, and that's if the rankings stay the same, because David Hicks can move up, David Hicks can move down. He's not moving out the top. He's not moving out the top 10, I can tell you that. Zakaria Branch can move up, move down. He's not moving out the top 10, I can tell you that as well. But you go out and you get David Hicks and Zakaria Branch to say, I'm committed. And all credit to Hayes Fawcett. He's the guy that does the recruiting edit for the Twitter and the Instagram and stuff like that. Now you've got the 5th best player in the nation and the 6th best player in the nation. The #1 player is Arch Manning. I think when I posted something a while ago, some of you guys hit me up and he was like, man, I bet you won't tweet out something to Arch Manning and make him start looking at Texas A&M. I won't, because the simple fact of that, if Arch Manning hadn't put us on this visit board, because, man, let's keep it real. If Arch Manning reaches out to Texas A&M and says, hey, man, I want to come and visit your school, Jimbo Fisher's going to let him. The only problem with Arch Manning is that you're the #1 player in the country. And you sit at a position in which Trevor Lawrence came in, was #1 player. Quinn Ewers over there at Texas, he was the #1 player. Walter Nolan was the #1 player at one point, but now he is #2 player. So, I mean, man, it's a give or take. It's a give or take. If we do go out and approach Arch Manning and say, hey, man, come and play for Texas A&M, Arch Manning knows, just like the guys at Texas A&M, that he has to now wait his turn. Are they going to let Arch Manning start? If he earns the job, yeah. I don't see why you wouldn't. But we have Connor Wingman. We have Max Johnson that will not leave after this year. We have Haynes King that isn't even draft eligible yet. And we have Eli Stowers that has moved back to the quarterback position. All right, so you're talking about the #1 player coming in. But how can I say that when we got Jaden Rashad on the board? He's the 43rd best player in the nation. And how can I say that when we're going after Dante Moore, who is the #3? It's #3 or #5? He's the 12th best player in the nation. QB position. At that quarterback position, he's #4. How can I say that? How can you say that, Jay? I believe Dante Moore has some work to do. Jaden Rashad has a lot of work to do. And like I said, if these guys earn a spot, and we talk if they commit to the team now. I mean, hey man, they just won the position. But now you're looking at your quarterback room, and you have one of the best quarterback rooms in the nation. Going into 2024 now. All right? No, going into the 2023 season, you have one of the best quarterback rooms in the nation ever. And it hadn't been that way since Kyler Murray and Kyle Allen was in the room. But those were only 2 guys that was 5-star. You bring in Dante Moore, now you're looking at 2 5-stars. You're looking at a guy in Haynes King that was a former 5-star, but got moved down to a 4-star within his senior year. And then you're looking at Max Johnson, who's just sitting on the bench waiting, most likely, to get his chance. A lot of people, oh man, well, you know, man, it's a lot of guys gonna come. Well, Ryan Day does this every day. The guy in Tuscaloosa, Nick Saban, does this every day. They don't have a problem with it. All they see is just one guy made up and transfer because he wanted more playing time. A lot of those guys sits on that bench and wait their turn. You know, Bryce Young was one of them. That's why I do respect Bryce Young. He sat there and he waited his time. You know, but anywho, I'm getting off subject here. So for quarterback, Dante Moore, I do believe that he may be our number 1 and number 2 quarterback at this point. I still feel like Jaden Rashada is the number 1 guy at the moment, in which we're waiting on to see where he's going to go to. And that's going to really cause a domino effect. But Dante Moore, like I said, is either the number 1 or the number 2 guy at that position, in which we're willing to bring him on in here if he decides to commit to Texas A&M. Now, is Dante Moore a long shot? No. Why? Dante Moore is on campus as we speak. He's there on campus, people. All right. Like I say, this is a really, really big recruiting weekend. And like I say, Dante Moore is on campus right now. All right. So Anthony Hill is really, really the number 1 guy in this class, in which it's a lot of us want. He's the linebacker from Denton, Texas. He's a 5-star recruit, nationally 14. As of right now, Texas A&M sits as the heavily favored. I haven't seen that change since last year when they even put the crystal ball in. And once they put the crystal ball in, Texas A&M indeed was the number 1 guy. The only thing we're waiting on with Anthony Hill is for him to come on campus already and take an official visit, in which he'll be here in July. Another guy that we're going after real heavily, in which Alabama fans and Nick Saban himself is going to be very mad if we land this guy. And in my honest opinion, I believe we will land this guy. As soon as you see Tony Mitchell, 5-star cornerback, and now he's moved up to the 15th best recruit in the nation. If you start seeing Tony Mitchell, which Tony Mitchell is on campus today as we speak as well. He's there for another official visit. The connection is strong. I believe that he's connecting with Denver Harris and Bobby Taylor. He loves that connection over there with that room. And just to let you guys know, we're going to do a podcast on this as well. Well, I'm going to do one on this as well. Texas A&M has the 2nd best defensive back room in the country this year. All right, that's something that you guys should have knew. I tried my best to tell you guys this all over social media. A lot of you guys kind of looked at me crazy, turned the page, but CBS comes out, in which CBS is very accurate. And they've let you guys know now that, no, man, Texas A&M has the 2nd best defensive back room in the nation. Georgia is number 1. All right, so I hear what you're saying. Imagine playing linebacker behind a 5-star defensive line. A lot of guys on that defensive line this year that's going to start, a lot of those guys ranked as 3 and 4 stars. No, a lot of those guys ranked as 4 stars. I'm lying if I say 3 too. A lot of those guys ranked as 4 stars. Anthony Lucas is one of them. Anthony Lucas will indeed be a starter. I honestly believe that. I believe him and Walter Nolan will be starters come day 1. Anthony Lucas should have been a 5-star, but because they don't have enough 5-star rankings to go around for everybody, he landed in that top 30. All right, he landed like in that mid-30 range when he came out in 2022. I think he's like 38th best player. We were in a battle with Alabama for that guy so heavily. You hear what I'm saying? We were in a battle with that guy for Alabama, man. He was about to commit to Alabama. Right after the recruiting weekend, he was indeed about to commit. You know, another guy was about to commit. Denver Harris was about to commit too. He was about to commit to Alabama. So this is the reason to why Nick Saban is so mad about recruiting, because most of those guys that we got for sure, and like I say, Anthony Lucas and Denver Harris is two of them. They were about to commit to Alabama, man. That recruiting weekend was so impactful to them. But it's how the way they do things over there, and that's why, hey, man, it's nothing against this. It's nothing against Alabama. I love how the way they recruit. I've always loved it. I never questioned it until this year because a lot of people question us. But it is what it is, man. They get some of the best, and that's just that. Now Georgia's doing it. Ohio State has done it for a long time, and they've yet to see the #1 ranking. That's so crazy to me. Ohio State has yet to get the #1 class. Only 4 teams got it from the SEC, and they're all from 3 of them from the SEC, 1 from the SEC East. Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M. They've all got the #1 classes. Ironically, all those guys won national title. All right, Clemson is yet to see a #1 class. You know, Texas in the new era is yet to see a #1 class. Things of that nature, man. So you got to look at where the landscape is going. Oklahoma, blue blood, yet to see a #1 class. Notre Dame on the road right now in 2023, and a lot of people keep on telling me, man, it's too early, man. It's way too early. You guys are sleeping on Notre Dame. The same folks that said something about our recruiting class, same folks, athletic director, everybody came out for Notre Dame, said something about A&M's #1 class. Now they're sneaking into the range of landing the #1 class as well. So I don't know, man. You guys tell me. I don't know if it was because of Brian Kelly doing the recruiting, or is it Marcus Freeman? Why is it that Marcus Freeman hadn't even much coached #1 game? He can walk in there and get a #1 class. So what was Brian Kelly doing the whole time? I don't know, man. You Notre Dame fans, you guys answer that for me. Anywho, let's keep moving here. Ruben Owens is our #1 running back target. All right, I need you guys to understand that. Why do we want Ruben Owens so much? Because that will be the first 5-star running back that we've ever signed. Listen to me once again. That will be the first 5-star. No, I'm lying. That won't be the first 5-star running back. I'm lying. They signed one in the Kevin Sumlin deal. This will be our second 5-star running back that we've ever signed. And if you're a running back, if you guys look at the resume of Jimbo Fisher and what he's done with running back so far, it's a lot of those guys that are still in the NFL today getting their money. Dalvin Cook is one of them. He's going to be electric next year with Kellen Moore. Honestly believe that. I believe that Minnesota will be the forgotten team. And that will shock a lot of people. Dalvin Cook will have over about 2,000 rushing yards. That's hard to do in the NFL. But he will have that. All right? Just believe what I'm telling you, man. Devontae Freeman is another. Jimbo Fisher here. Cam Akers another. LA Rams just won the Super Bowl. Understand what I'm telling you about the production of running backs. He produces those guys like crazy. Only thing Jimbo Fisher's waiting on himself is the production of the wide receiver. All right, so anywho. Speaking of that, man, let's keep on going here. Javian Tavino. 5-star cornerback. All right. National number 22. As of right now, Texas sits as the favorite. No, they don't sit as the favorite. I thought they were. It looks like they took that prediction away. It's sitting at a low right now for Texas. He's from Arlington, Texas. Yes, he's a Texas native people. As of right now, man, this is his warm list. And it's going to be out of these 2 schools. I do not think that he'll commit to Texas. All right, I will make that be known right there. A lot of Texas fans gonna be mad at him, but I don't think he'll commit to Texas unless he sees where their defense is going to go in 2022. All right, he really has to see where that defense is going to prevail. What are they going to do? Things of that nature. The 3 schools that I'm looking at that he could potentially land at, the 4 schools, is Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, and Georgia. All right. As of right now, Alabama is getting very low on their cornerbacks. So be looking for Alabama to try to press really hard on that cornerback room, because they have one guy committed right now, and the one guy that's committed is 5-star corner Jay Hurley, and he's from Alabama himself anyway. All right, so you have to really look for that. Like I say, JV and Tavino. As of right now, A&M cornerback room is stacked. All right, their entire cornerback roster is the fullest that we've ever seen in College Station, period. In the R.C. Slocum days, don't get me wrong, he was recruiting. That room wasn't as powerful as it is right now. As of right now, it's only 2 guys that are in that cornerback room that's 3-star recruits. One of them played like a 4-star, and that's Tyreek Chappelle. The other one is Miles Jones, that's the super senior. All right, this is 6 years, super senior. I'm going to tell you guys this once again. Look for that cornerback room to be top 10 in the nation this year. They will stop a lot of passes. A lot of guys are going to try to run on that defensive line because it's going to be a young defensive line. They're going to be very inexperienced. But I believe that that defensive line has a whole other thing coming for them. What we wanted to see last year with our defensive line and a defensive backfield was coming together. You will see that this year in a big way. We leaned on the defense last year. We're going to lean on it a little bit more this year, but we are going to have an explosive offense. All right, just believe it. You guys can take that. Believe it, not believe it, whatever. I'm telling you what I know right here. But once again, JV and Tavino, 5-star corner. I don't see this young man moving from out of that top 20 ranking at all this year. He is he's every bit of a 5-star cornerback. And like I say, man, just continue to watch that recruitment. That recruitment is going to shape up really good. I don't know when he's going to announce anything. He may just come out and surprise everybody. As of right now, it's not a strong favorite. I don't see A&M being a strong favorite right now. Going forward, with him just looking at A&M, seeing where we are, things of that nature, I expect 2 more cornerbacks to commit in this class. I expect Tony Mitchell to be one of them whenever he decides. And maybe Javion Tavino. But then again, the guy who we're really pressing for, and he may just move into that 5-star ranking, is Malik Muhammad. Malik Muhammad will be that guy to commit in this class. To be honest with you, I think we may just get 5 cornerbacks in this class, man. And a lot of people are going to say, well, damn, man, what are they doing over there in College Station? There's going to be a lot of people saying that once again. What are they doing in College Station? We're loading up this defense. We're tired of going through the injuries. We're tired of it. It's too many guys that we cannot rotate and lean on them right away. The guys that we recruited on that defensive line, if an injury occurs, we can put those guys in right away. It's a plug-and-play ball game from here on out, man. A plug-and-play. All right? So this year is the year of the cornerbacks. All right? Like I say, they will get maybe 1 safety in this class for sure. Or with these 5 defensive backs that may commit, man, I know I'm not going crazy. It will be about 5 defensive backs that's going to commit in this class. And they're telling them to commit for a reason, because Antonio Cromartie is another one, man. You guys need to stop sleeping on him. He's going to put them in some areas where they're going to be shut down corners. The reason to why we took off with the cornerback room this year is because of Antonio Cromartie. He's back there and he's coaching those guys up. He's coaching them to another level of where we have not seen this in over 20 years. We haven't, man. We haven't seen this in over 20 years, man. He's getting them to the next level, in which I expect Jaylen Jones to go 1st round. I expect Antonio Johnson to go 1st round. That's all credit to Antonio Cromartie, but also to our other guy. I can't put my hand on his name here, but our cornerbacks coach. That's credit to those guys, man, for just working with him, all right? So I'm gonna keep on going here, okay? One of you guys in there, shout out to everybody in the comment section. One of you guys saying fans will need to realize that if Jumbo keeps getting top 3 classes, we will have to get used to multiple transfers. That is true. It just depends on which position. A lot of people are already assuming that the transfer portal is going to be very busy, very, very busy with a lot of defensive linemen coming from Texas A&M. Me personally, I don't believe that, and I'm going to continue to not believe that, all right? And I will not believe that because of this here. I told you once before, this will be the first time ever where you will see Texas A&M do about 3 rotations of the defensive line. I mean, just continuously go. And when they trout those guys out there in that Miami game, so Miami fans are going to be shocked. They're going to be really, really shocked. They're going to see a new defensive line. They're going to say, oh, man, come on. There's going to be some fresh heads out there trying to knock some necks off. And a lot of A&M fans, you guys got to be used to that. You guys got to get used to this heavy rotation that's about to happen at Kyle Field. A lot of these guys know that they all won't go first round, but the rotation will be so ridiculous in which it's going to be a lot of guys that are going in the top 5 rounds. I mean, in the top 3 rounds of the NFL draft, and they're all going to come from Texas A&M. All right, it's going to be a sight to see, but we're going to lose a lot of these guys to the NFL draft in the same year. And I'm not talking about just 5 people. I'm talking about like, man, we're going to lose like about 8 to 9 defensive linemen in one NFL draft. And man, there's going to be a lot of people, man. It's going to be a lot of people. So I wouldn't necessarily say get used to transfers. I would say get used to these guys going early in the draft. It's going to be a lot of these guys getting drafted, man. I don't understand why a lot of those guys didn't go last year in the draft, but it is what it is. Expecting 2024 and 2025, a lot of these guys from this defensive line unit, they're going to get drafted. And I'd want to say about 3 or 4 each year from that defensive line. At least 3. I'm going to say a reasonable number of 3 is going to get drafted in the first round. So, I mean, man, it is what it is. This is why they have to continue to recruit like how the way they recruit. What's crazy with it now is that Jumbo Fisher has put himself in an elite recruiting category and where he has to bring in top 5 classes now. That's a must. If we don't bring in top 5 class, we're going to look every bit of like the Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State fans and be like, man, what's going on, Jumbo? You didn't feel like recruiting this year? We're going to start asking it. It's crazy to say. We're going to start asking it. All right? So, anywho, so one of you guys saying Kobe year threw off the draft this year, in my opinion. Yes, it did. It did by a long shot. One of you guys is saying, what about Sewell from Amarillo, Texas? I want to go through the line, but I don't have to. So, Harris Sewell, inside offensive lineman, as of right now, Texas A&M, I want to say, sits as the heavy favorite. You got to look out for Clemson and Alabama. All right. As of right now, he has the top 3, which is Texas A&M, Clemson, and Alabama. He has went for a visit already. We by far sit in the best spot of landing him. Why? Because if I don't know anything much, I do know that when these guys are from the state of Texas, especially Odessa, they're not going to go outside the state like that if the in-state teams are looking that good at the moment. So as of right now, Texas A&M is the school due to Texas not being what they really used to be. And Texas A&M being in the SEC in general, and Texas A&M by far, maybe not with 10-win season, national title and conference titles, but they haven't had a losing record. Guys in Texas, so these kids in Texas look at that, but also is a lot of these kids in Texas look at the simple fact of, okay, well, how can I go and help such and such? Understand that 2022 class, all of those guys were from Texas. The number 5 class that went to Texas, Most of those kids were from Texas. Our 2022 class, A&M class, most of these kids were from Texas. They split hairs on what school can I go and impact and what school can develop me, but also what school looks like they're way closer than the next. A lot of those guys, and some of them went with the blue blood, some of them didn't. All right, so what I need you guys to understand about that is that he doesn't have Texas in here. Texas is nowhere near in here. This is a Texas kid. He only has Clemson and Alabama. Those two schools alone have came and cherry picked our state as well, especially Clemson with getting Caden Cluck. Cherry picking. They got the top quarterback in the state. You know, one of the top quarterbacks in the state. So you have to think here. You know, does he want to go and protect Cade Klubnik, or does he want to come to College Station and protect Connor Wing when it's his time to go out there and shine? So if we're sitting right there as a lone favorite, as one of the lone favorites, I say we get Harris soon. You know, I just don't know when he's going to make an announcement, but I do say we get Harris soon. Another guy here in which just decommitted from Clemson. He's a wide receiver here. Where is he at? Also, Chavion Bradley, the edge rusher, 5-star, nationally 36. We sit as one of the favorites. Tennessee is in there. The warmer schools are Tennessee, South Carolina, and Texas A&M. A lot of you guys gonna look at me crazy, man, but I believe we'll get Chavion Bradley as well. So that'll probably be the two high defensive linemen that we will get in this class. Chavion Bradley is gonna be a really tough decision. I like what I'm seeing from him, and it's looking like he's loving Texas A&M so far. I expect him to keep that decision until early signing day, or some of these kids are looking to get it over with before the senior season. Expect to have him on board. Jonte Cook, Texas sits as the favorite for him right now. I will say this though, Jonte Cook is feeling Texas A&M a lot. He likes what he's seeing. He's keeping the naysayers from out of his ears, talking about Jimbo Fisher doesn't do this and do that. But I believe he's liking what he's seeing, man. He's liking a whole lot of it. I believe that Jaylen Brown from Miami, as Miami being the favorite. Like I say, Jaylen Brown is from Miami. If he has a strong connection with Shamar Stewart, like I know he probably will have, maybe on his visit, whenever he does come to visit, man, you can probably wrap that up for Jaylen Brown to be an Aggie. And that's gonna piss a lot of Miami fans off once again. But you can kind of pretty much wrap that up for Jaylen Brown being an Aggie, man. But if he just chooses to stay home, he won't go to Florida State. I can tell you that. He will indeed choose Miami at the end of the day. All right. Can we pick up the number one wide receiver? Yes, we can. The number one wide receiver right now is Zakaria Branch. The next guy on this wide receiver board is Brandon Ennis. Brandon Ennis does have it in our top 6. Whenever Brandon Ennis gets down here for an official visit is when I'll make a prediction on that. As of right now, Ohio State sits as the heavy favorite. USC as well, though, but Ohio State pretty much in that driver's seat. If he hasn't made a decision by summertime, by after summer, you can indeed look for him to come to College Station on an official visit, probably for that Miami game. I want you guys to understand that Miami game will be sold out. That will be a packed out event for a lot of commits to come and witness some things, particularly, man, kids from Florida that we're trying to get. Like I said, what Jimbo Fisher is doing is trying to get a collective of kids from Florida to combine with a collective of Texas players. That's dangerous, man. What are the two dominant states in football? High school football. Texas and Florida. That's dangerous. If he can get a couple of kids to get on board from California, he's putting together a national championship team on paper, and he's putting together a top 10 team whenever rankings come out for each and every season. So a lot of you guys got to get used to A&M being ranked high. We're not going to be ranked in top 25 no more when it comes to preseason polls, man. You guys got to understand that. Now, the season may not go as planned. You know, we all know that, you know, due to things that may just happen. But this is a top 25 team going forward. They have a top 5 roster. So it makes every bit of sense to rank them in the top 25. That's the reason why we get upset that Texas is ranked in the top 25 all the time, because a lot of us say, well, damn, man, they ain't done that. I get it to why they are ranked in the top 25. It's because of their average recruiting rankings. It all goes with recruiting, man. They know, oh, what would you done for me later when it gets to preseason polls. That's not how this works. All right, so a lot of you guys got to understand that we're gonna be ranked high. The question is, can we live up to those high expectations every year? You know, so that's just what it is. Another guy here that you guys need to watch, and I'm gonna wrap it up in a minute, is Keelan Jackson from Jackery, Louisiana. If you guys hadn't noticed by now, and this is with Kevin Sumlin too, Texas A&M is very close to Louisiana. It's a lot of kids that come from Louisiana in the College Station. As of right now, we sit in the driver's seat for this young man. He's a 4-star safety, nationally 132. Like I say, Keelan Jackson. We are by far the only one that's warm in his commitment. All we're waiting for is for him to just come out with the announcement for an official visit, and for him to say, hey man, committed to Texas A&M University. We already have a guy right now by the name of Jayden Gilbert. If I'm looking at it correctly, they're saying that Jayden Gilbert is going to be the starting safety this year. He's going to be one of the starting safeties. That guy's going to be a dog. He's going to be a dog, man. It's a no-fly zone coming to College Station, man, and you guys got to be prepared for it. All right, it's a no-fly zone. What do I mean by no-fly zone? It is not going to be a lot of deep balls getting contested on us. Now we may see some broken coverages from here and there, but for the most part, we will probably be one of the very few teams in the country to give up completions for 20 yards or more. And that says something. That says a whole lot. All right, so we're telling teams, no, man, you got to work. You actually have to work. So I'm going to keep going here, and I'm going to name just about one more player. A lot of you guys want to know about Jaylen Hale, because I've been seeing that Jaylen Hale is being kind of cool on the recruiting side of it. I believe USC sits in the favorite zone for this young man as of right now. I don't want to say sleep on Jaylen Hale, but Jaylen Hale sits up there amongst USC's top target. He's one of the top targets. He's a wide receiver from Longview, Texas, nationally number 59, position number 11. We're still in that warm category. I can see A&M kind of fading away just a little bit, only because of what A&M is going for. So Jaylen Hale may see himself not being a strong value, and which is crazy to me, but these kids' decision, he may see himself not being a strong value in that receiving corps, because A&M made every bit of land of Jaylen Brown's 5-star. We may just land Jonte Cook, 5-star. Hakeem Williams, in which I didn't talk about. They just pushed him out to 5-star not too long ago. But he'll get back in there, highly rated 4-star. Like 38 in the country, or 39 in the country. If we land those guys, man, Jaylen Hale is going to look at himself and say, hey, man, am I willing to go in there and compete with Evan Stewart, Chris Marshall? A lot of those guys that are coming back in that receiving room, Noah Thomas, 4-star recruit. You know, so how can I say that? But he's going to USC, and USC would probably have one of the best wide receiver rooms in the country. It's like that. It is like that, all right? So, this is another guy as well, Adam Hawkins. I believe he'll be the first wide receiver domino on the board to commit to Texas A&M. Then this guy here that decommitted from Clemson, Nathaniel Joseph. He's from Miami, Florida as well. Notice what I just said. A lot of Miami, Florida commit. A lot of Miami, Florida prospects. A lot of Florida prospects. Florida is deep this year. They're very, very deep on a skill part of their position this year. They're very deep. So it's going to be a lot of checking. It's going to be a lot of cherry picking through Florida. A lot of people are looking for Mario Cristobal to sign the top 10 class over there. They're not looking for him to sign number 1 class. They're looking for him to sign the top 10 class. Mario Cristobal will indeed have to be in some recruiting battles because A&M will be in Florida, cherry picking. Alabama will be in Florida, cherry picking. Clemson will be in there. And this team as well. A lot of you guys may look at me crazy. Texas Longhorns. I'm just saying, man. And Ohio State does it better than anybody. So, that's all I have for you on the recruiting side of things. I'm going to wrap this up with this. And this is what I said. I was going to speak about Miami just a little bit here. So, this is what we're looking at with Miami. And it looks like I'm going to have to do a longer podcast on Miami because Miami just keeps coming out and saying a lot of things to me lately. The head-to-head series, Miami leads it 2-1. The first time we played was in 1944. And we played at Kyle Field over there, Southwest Conference. For whatever reason, Miami has always come to us. No. Yeah, for whatever reason, it looks like Miami. No, I'm lying. We went to Miami consecutive times. 2 times. First 2 times we went there. 1944 and in 2007. We lost both times. We lost in 2007. And we won that game in 1944, in which was 14-70, in which I guess Miami was trying to find itself in that time. But the game that Miami won in 2007, and this is when Texas A&M was a top-ranked team. They were top 20. They won 34-17. The last time we played Miami was at Miami. No. The last time we played them was in 2008, and that's when we went over to Miami. And Miami kicked our butts 41-23. This is what they continue to go by. Well, man, we won at Kyle Field. What do I have to tell you guys all the time about this? When was the last time we played? In 2008. Does this look like 2008 to you? Or 2010 or 2012, 4 years later? We're looking at a decade plus later, man. And you're still bringing up that y'all won at Kyle Field. This isn't the same Kyle Field. Like, what are you guys talking about? This isn't the same. I hate when guys try to go off the history. All the history says, that don't mean anything. They went off the history last year with Alabama, and you see how that worked out. That doesn't mean anything, man. Come on now, stop that. So, this is Miami. And you know, they brought up the history. First and foremost, Miami has 5 national titles. All right, they're the 11th best team so far as national titles are concerned. They have 5. All right, Texas A&M has 3. A lot of people like to say, "Oh man, don't nobody know them trophies." That's fine. We still have 3. We're ranked for 19. All right, our win percentage, you know, which is the all-time record. Miami is 18th for the all-time record with 643, 376, and 19. Texas A&M is 24th with 766 wins, 491 losses, and 48 ties. Of course, one school has been around way longer than the other. All right, so we're 24th. Conference titles. Miami is 75th. They're the 75th best when it comes to conference titles. They have 9 conference titles in which they won all of their conference titles in the Big East. Is the Big East here anymore? Because I'm confused. No, they're not. Okay, now let's keep on going here. Texas A&M has 18 conference titles, in which their last one was like 20-something odd years ago. I know this, people. They're 22nd. They're ranked 22nd so far as conference titles are concerned. This is 22nd in the nation. When I point out these numbers, this is in the nation. We have 18. A lot of those titles came from Southwest Conference. One came from Big 12. Miami has been over there in the ACC for as long as we can remember. And they've yet to win a conference title. You guys have been over there for like, what, 15, 16, maybe like 20 years or something like that now? I don't want to speak some numbers I don't know. Maybe like 15, 20 years. Texas A&M has went on to a whole nother conference, and we've only been over there like, this is going on all the 11th year, I think. 11th, 12th year. We've yet to see a conference title, but we're way more closer than what you guys are. You know, so I don't understand what that is about. Y'all want to talk about the history? Also, this is a team that's 75th. They only have 9 conference titles in their entire tenure of being open as Miami. A&M has 18. Once again, we're going to talk about the history of the 18. Anyways, both schools are tied for 18 in 42 bowl appearances. Wins all time. Miami is 46 wins all time. They have 643 wins. They're 46 best. Texas A&M 766 wins all time. We're 16th. We're the 16th best school so far as wins are concerned. Once again, hey, y'all want to talk about the history. Now, with the bowl record, Miami is 19-23, 19 wins, 23 losses, 0 ties. They're 62nd when it comes to all D1 schools. 62nd. Texas A&M, 20, 22, and 0 ties. They're 50th in a bowl record, which ain't good at all, but we're better than Miami in bowl records. Let's keep going here. Consensus All-Americans, Miami 36. And they're 18th. They're the 18th best when it comes to that. Texas A&M 33 consensus All-Americans. We're 20th best when it comes to that. Neck and neck there. 2 Heisman Trophy winners for Miami. 2 Heisman Trophy winners for Texas A&M. 12th. Tied for 12th. Both of them tied for 12th right there. 355 NFL draft picks from Miami. They're 12th. 12th best. I will give them that. I've seen a lot of those guys get drafted. Texas A&M 299 NFL draft picks. 18th best. All right, 18th. That's a pretty good numbers according to all D1 schools. Miami, this is where they can forever shut us down. And I will give them guys their credit. 67 first round NFL draft picks. 5th best in the nation. 5th best amongst all schools. Texas A&M 36 first round NFL draft picks. 16th best in the nation. That number is going to turn around drastically in the next couple of years. Miami, 509 weeks ranked in the poll. 17th best amongst all schools. Texas A&M 482 weeks in the AP poll. 18th best. You guys got us right there. 6 weeks at AP number 1 for Texas A&M. 28th best in the nation. Miami 68 weeks at AP number 1. 8th best in the nation. All of those stats right there came from when Miami was that damn good. In the 80s to the early 2000s into the late 99s. To the late 90s. Past history. You guys are still way back there. We're doing our best to catch up. Because we don't want to be behind the curve anymore. We want to be up there in the front row with everybody else. You guys are still sitting way back there. It is what it is, man. So that's all I have for you. That is it on today's show. I thank all of you guys. Let me get on out of here. My wife is probably cussing me out. I know she's hungry. I heard somebody say get great tight end for 2022 class, but I believe we may not be as it's been until next year. Tight ends will be good. All right, so understand that. I'm going to go and get the food. Look, I told you guys my wife was probably there cursing me out. She just opened the door. I told you guys that I've been on this thing for too long, man. I blame you guys. I blame you. You guys tune in. I blame all of you. So let me get on out of here. I love all of you guys. #GigMate.